Sunday afternoon hoops, a matinee as the Philadelphia 76ers host the Miami Heat. Doubleheader day here in Philadelphia with some early basketball. Got a little football against the hated rival a little bit later on at 4 o'clock. This was 4:25, Rich?
Something like that.
We got a doubleheader today. Welcome to the PHLY Sixers pregame show live from the Xfinity studio with Rich. I'm Devon Bree, president of basketball operations. All of you, great to see you on the Sunday. Hope your weekend is going well. We are presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'd imagine, Rich, today with some early basketball and a full slate of NBA and NFL games, that Bet365 is going to be pretty busy today.
They're going to be busy today.
Pretty busy. We'll be busy with them a little bit later as well with our pregame picks. We've got to talk about the Miami Heat have won 3 games in a row. Half game up on the Sixers in the standings right now, so not an easy one for your boys today. And then we have to talk about VJ Edgecombe being out this afternoon with an injury that he's dealing with. So the rookie missing his first game of his career. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Rich, after a career high 54 on the road, I didn't have the chance to sit with you that night. Kyle and I were together with Bree. So I got to get your thoughts, man. We've talked about him being hot. He was hot. 54 career high. Fantastic. Great efficiency. Still dimed out 9. He was tremendous in that game, helping them win that overtime against the Bucks.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. That was, I talked about, I feel like I've said to you that I wasn't jealous of some of the road post-game shows that you've had to do because there's been some bad losses along the way. I was jealous the other night, though. What an amazing game to talk about. Tyrese Maxey. So the three-point shooting is just out of control. Like the step-back 31-footer that he made. It was funny, man, because Doc Rivers goes to that zone defense, and it's really just like a hope they miss zone defense. Like, you cannot tell me that the Sixers got bad shots against that defense. They got threes, and that's part of the calculus from the Bucks. Hey, maybe they'll miss wide open threes. Everybody else missed wide open threes the entire night. They weren't bad shots, though. I think they were fine. But Tyrese Maxey was making step-back 31-footers to kind of bail them out of those missed threes, and also their offensive rebounding against the zone as well. But the thing that really stood out to me, man, his finishing in that game, it was like a complete package. And we talk a lot about how on the right side, he often finishes off that right foot. And he had 2 insane floaters. These are not good shots. I mean, they're not good shots for the average player, but he makes these shots just going to his right with no backboard help at all, like an 8-foot floater with a guy right on his hip off his right foot. I mean, the touch to make that shot, which he did twice, is insane. But Devon, the other thing that happened, I think Bobby Marks had a tweet about this. I think he finished, it was either 6 or 7 layups with his left hand in that game. And there were multiple plays where, he had that one drive, I believe it was on Bobby Portis on the baseline, where he just sort of snuck it under him. But there were other plays too where he was just getting out in front and laying it up soft with his left hand. It was an amazing game, man. And I think, he probably was rewarded a little bit from the night before. We talked about how Toronto, They had athletes, right? And they were able to take the ball out of his hands, and he relayed it the next night where Joel Embiid looked at the score sheet and said, hey, man, 14 shots, that's not enough for you with the way the team is. That's true, but also Toronto was doing something to take the ball out of his hands. That Milwaukee team did not have those athletes, right? They had good shooters. They were on fire for most of the game, but they did not have the athletes, and he really took advantage of it. And it's, I think everything that you and Kyle said after the game, I completely echo. Just like from the start of this season, this guy was like, we're going to take every game seriously. I'm not doing what we did last year. I am taking this upon myself to make sure that we play hard every single night. And he's backing it up, man. I think, I wrote this the other night, like he's clearly going to start in the All-Star game unless something
as far as the voting goes,
catastrophic happens.
Yeah.
He would deserve to start in the All-Star. Like, it's not, obviously the fan voting element is always part of who starts in the All-Star game. He deserves to start in the All-Star game. Coaches, fans, GMs, whoever, he is playing like one of the best guards in the NBA right now. And it's just amazing to see. Like, it's a joy to watch. This is a very shorthanded team. I think especially when Joel doesn't play, like, the spacing is not great. Really nice to see PG get off to a good start at the beginning of that game the other night. Hopefully he can he can get those minutes worked up. I'm not going to say the word because I don't want to put some money in the jar, but hopefully he can increase that minute workload over the next little bit. But this is not, I don't think this is an easy team to score on right now just because of the lack of spacing. I feel like over the last few weeks, Nick Nurse has gone, they've been a much better defensive team than offensive team since Joel went out after that Toronto game. And I think part of the calculus is like, all right, we're going to play Barlow, we're going to play Jabari Walker at the 4. We're going to play Drum. Like we're going to get bigger and get better at rebounding. And Tyrese is going to have to handle most of the offense. And he's done it, just an amazing job of it. So I've been very impressed. And that game the other night was a lot of fun, dragging them over the finish line on the second night of a back-to-back. A game where, honestly, man, I thought they played pretty well. They just did not shoot it very well. And Milwaukee did shoot it very well in that game. For him to drag them over the finish line, even with all of those factors working against him, really impressive, but it's also something we've seen for these first 15 games of the season.
No, he's just been fantastic, man. Just a tremendous start to the season, 15 games in, second in the NBA in scoring with what he's been able to do with the 30-plus points per night. And still assisting, like I said, just diming out 9, and he still had 54 and 9 in that game, helping in the rebounds where they needed some clutch rebounding. He was there to pick up a few of those in that extra session as well. And just being available, right? Not fouling out, not getting in foul trouble. He gets some ticky-tack fouls sometimes. And we've even said this too, where he feels like he deserves a call and he finds himself out of the play because he's too busy arguing with the official. We didn't even see that in that game. He just played basketball, went out there, did his thing, and as a result, had his best. You could argue, obviously, the numbers-wise, 54 and 9. You're looking at that and say that's the best game of his career. But we know that sometimes that doesn't tell the story. He can probably have a 40-point game with the same amount of assists, rebounding, steals, et cetera, just running a really good floor game and say that he had a better game overall that game. But the way he is seeing it and feeling it, sometimes he still gets caught up where he's sped up just a little bit, and we know he can push his foot on the brake and still gas it right back up because that's how talented he is, and he's figured that part out. He can get himself in those troubles, but in this particular one, man, he really had it going, and he had it all going. And also, when you talked about the Paul George piece, and we mentioned this, Paul George scored the first 11.
Yeah, it was awesome. What a stretch,
man. Right,
man.
he scored the first 11, but guess what happened after that? Tyrese Maxey scored 12.
Yeah.
That topped him in that first quarter. Now, George was on a minute restriction, so after George went to sit down, he picked up the slack, but that's how good he was. Embiid would do this sometimes, even though Embiid would always get off to a really good start, score like 17 in the first quarter, but he would also, if James Harden had it going, go ahead. And then he would pick it right up.
James Harden had it going yesterday.
Oh, I was watching the whole game yesterday. And then he would pick it right up. So this is what Tyrese Maxey didn't do last year, where he would allow something else to happen before, and then he would turn it up for them in the way that he did on Thursday night. He was just fantastic. And I wanted to make sure we brought that back because you didn't have a chance to talk about it. You had a chance to write about it, but you didn't have a chance to talk about it. He was great.
Kyle mentioned it too the other night too. It was something that I picked up on as well. I'm sure you did as well, where you saw the play in overtime. I forget who got the rebound. They got a stop in overtime. And he's like, whoever it was tired because, like, look, they're playing on the second night of a back-to-back. They're in an overtime game. Basically had to come back in this one to even get it to overtime. And he's screaming at that guy, like, let's give me the ball. Like, let's run. He's like, you can hear it on TV. Like, let's go. Whatever he's screaming. For the guy who's leading the NBA in minutes to be doing that after, again, like playing a two-way game as well. I've been impressed by his individual defense this year. He's definitely made some strides in that regard. Yeah, for him to still have that energy, like, look, at some point, I have not been big on the Nick Nurse criticism when they're 9-6 with as many injuries as they are dealing with. There are things you can certainly criticize, but also, like, when you look at the overall picture, I think they're in a pretty good spot for what they've dealt with. The one thing I will definitely get on Nick Nurse on, and I do have some sympathy for him in this, because if you don't play Tyrese Maxey all these minutes, you might not win some of these games. You certainly don't win that game the other night, but at some point, 40 minutes per game in the current setup of NBA basketball, like, you're just playing with fire in the current soft tissue injury. So that, hopefully, Jared McCain looked a little bit better the other night. Hopefully, like, he's the key guy to me, right? Because their offense without Tyrese on the floor is just not very good, right? It's just like, where are they going to get consistent offense? Who's going to be the person who's the advantage creator? Like, they need... McCain obviously has the point guardy type skills, as we've talked about. Really hasn't shown that he's been the same guy as last year so far. But man, at some point we got to get those minutes, at least a few minutes per game down, because it's just 40 minutes per game. And they're also done. These are hard minutes.
Yes.
And I don't want to just say they're hard minutes because they're hard minutes because people are pressing Tyrese Maxey, but they're also hard minutes because the Sixers play a close game every single night, which is great. But I think some of these other teams that, there's a blowout here, they win by 15, they lose by 15, whatever. Sixers don't win by 15. They don't lose by 15 either. They just play a close game every single night. I think those minutes are going to add up. So that would be the one thing I would say. But as far as what Tyrese is doing now, and I do love his attitude after these games, like I can keep playing a couple more. And it's like I love the attitude, but let's get you some rest. That's all.
Again, I think you can play another 5 minutes, another double overtime.
Sure.
Because you had it going. So when you have it going, you can just keep going. You can't play that.
I just want you to play 36 every night. Right. 36. That's a lot.
That's 40.
That's a lot. That's 3 quarters of the game. That's a lot. We got to be able to sit you down for 1 quarter and survive. Because look, man, he has become, you look at the advanced numbers, he is Joel Embiid now. You take him off the court, it's like, oh boy, how are we going to survive? And honestly, for a lot of his career, as good as he has been, he's been a part of those non-Embiid lineups where I'm like, Tyrese, we got to at least tread water in these minutes. And sometimes he and the other 4 guys that he played with were not able to do it. Well, nope. Now you're Joel Embiid, man. Now it's you. Now it's going to be, hey, Joel, can you get these guys to survive whenever you can play with Tyrese on the floor? So anyway, awesome start for Tyrese Maxey. And it's a situation where, look, Sixers comically shorthanded again today. We'll see what PG's minutes limit is in this one. Hopefully, again, I'm not going to say the word, but hopefully you can just bump it up a few minutes so he can soak up a few more offensive possessions because he looked great in the game the other night. But even as they're comically shorthanded, I think they have a shot because they have Tyrese Maxey on the team.
He played an extra 7 seconds at the end of regulation, Paul George did. Extend that, man.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
He got it done. I was texting back and forth with our buddy Vinny. He was like, and me, Kyle, and Bree, he's got to play the rest of this game in the 4th quarter. Before they even got to overtime, it was like, he's got to play. He's playing too well for you not to play him in a close game. Nick Nurse decided to sit him, and then they got the 7 seconds of defense there to head to overtime.
Again, that was very awkward in how that played out. And honestly, it was tough because Justin Edwards had a couple of rough stretches down the stretch. He did. They played him in overtime, and he was great.
Hit that big shot.
So good for Justin Edwards for sticking with it. It's clear that PG was on a pretty strict minutes limit, and he could not convince Nurse to let him play after that. But he finally convinced him, hey, man, we need a stop on this play. It's 7 seconds. I'm not even going to be running up and down the court. Get me on the court. And I guess Nick Nurse was like, okay, we can play 7 seconds, or whatever. But I agree. That was unorthodox and a little weird. But I do think that decision was mostly from above Nick Nurse.
Yes.
But yes, it kind of added it added a little frustration when you sprinkle him in for 7 seconds, which I don't even really think he did anything. It was just that Ryan Rollins.
Just little
side stuff.
He was lateral.
He was on the
lateral movement.
Other side of the play. He might have switched one screen, and then sit down. I mean, it's kind of like
check yourself into the game. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Sub. Get him out.
It's a more extreme version of remember when they brought Batum in to just inbound the ball? Batum didn't play the entire game.
He was dealing with the hamstring.
Yeah. But you could at least say inbounding the ball. Like that requires less effort than Paul George. He could have been protecting the rim on that play. He could have been. So that was a little goofy. I don't know. Look, these minutes restrictions when they're 25 minutes, it's tough because you get the point with Joel Embiid in that Chicago game where it's like, do you want to save him for the end of the 4th quarter? It's like, well, my old knees might get a little tight. I might not be quite as good down the stretch. So, hey, look.
Close them out in the 3rd, man.
The post-expectation Sixers, sure, Joel's going to be out for another game. Sure, why not? Yeah, why not? We'll figure it out. But the reason that this is watchable while all of these, I would say, why these injury situations have been less frustrating is because Tyrese Maxey's out there every single night and giving us watchable basketball.
But you get Paul George, 7 seconds of hell to close out regulation. All right, when we come back, we got to talk about why Maxey and George need to have a fantastic game this afternoon because VJ Edgecombe is out. We'll detail what the injury is. We'll discuss it, what George and Maxey need to do in order to get this win on this Sunday matinee doubleheader, Sixers-Eagles this afternoon. Philadelphia basketball at home, Birds on the road. We're discussing the hoops right here on the PHLY Sixers pregame show. And it's presented by our good friends from Bet365. Whatever the moment's never ordinary at Bet365. They're built for this moment. So it's not whatever the moment. It's never ordinary for Bet365 because 8 games in basketball. You have all of the NFL schedule for you today. Bet365 is ready for you. And listen, if you are not one of the 90 million users worldwide, what you're not getting is also live stream, 780,000 events each year. Maybe you want to play some live in-game betting, which they have pioneered. You can't do it because you haven't signed up yet. Here are a few other things as far as the NFL goes. Look, you got Sunday night games. You place a bet for $10 for the first touchdown scorer, and you get a split of the $365,000 in bonus bets if your player scores the final touchdown of the game. That's payable regardless of their first score. Bets, wins or loses. Sunday night jackpot. That's what it's called right now. You got Monday Night Football tomorrow. We're not here, so I can tell you about that. 50% super profit boost tokens on same game parlays. You got a 30% profit boost right now for the afternoon games for this slate today on Sunday, and the same for the NBA. So if you need to sign up and you have not done so yet, breaking news for you all out there who are jealous of us, you can sign up. You still have 15 minutes until kickoff. New customers get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5. Win or lose, sign up. Use code PHLY365. Deposit 10. Place a bet for $5. $150 in bonus bets is yours if the bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus. Physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And guys, the other day, I was at Kyle Neubeck's house yesterday. We were trying to watch some hoops. But
James Harden.
His setup, I was trying to watch James Harden at Kyle Neubeck's house, but his setup, it was a total mess. Lagging, buffering, and switching between apps, trying to find the game. He claimed he was a big fan, but I felt like Kyle Neubeck fan fished me.
Failed you.
See, if you call yourself a basketball fan, you gotta have our friends at Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination. I can find the best games and my favorite teams all in one place. And the way that I watch is next level. And guys, I can scroll through multiple games at once. I get live stats as well. Sometimes, I got 4 games going at once. And the next game day, you should make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box.
Welcome back to the PHLY Sixers pregame show presented by Bet365. Rich, Devon, Bree, we're hanging out with you, getting ready for this Sunday matinee Sixers Heat from South Philadelphia. VJ Edgecombe is out today. Rich, VJ Edgecombe, a little bit of a surprise, honestly, that he's on this injury report. But VJ Edgecombe dealing with a left calf tightness. And with that, you have to be very careful. So I'm good with him taking this little break, not getting out there on the floor. You do have Paul George. What do you make of this latest injury, left calf tightness for VJ Edgecombe?
Devon, VJ Edgecombe ranks 7th in the NBA in minutes. He's a rookie. He has at times looked tired, not because, again, at the end of a lot of these games, after maybe 2 days off or whatever, he looks very fresh. But I would say on back-to-backs, you see just in the middle of some of these games, he looks gassed, like he looks mentally fatigued, and he just does not have the energy. You mentioned that he reported calf tightness. This is a big thing around the league. If you guys look at all the stars that are not playing basketball right now, soft tissue injuries, dealing with calf tightness, teams are going to be extremely careful when a player reports calf tightness. Now, you might say, should the Sixers have been more careful with VJ Edgecombe and playing him all these minutes right away? It's a great conversation to have. It's not an ideal situation because they don't have a lot of depth behind him. But yeah, I think it's clearly the right move for today's game. Hope he doesn't stay out for too long, but I also understand it. You got to be careful. Maybe you have not been totally careful to this point right now, but I think, you got to get VJ out for at least a few days here. Make sure that calf tightness heals up. Stay on the cautious side for sure.
Yeah, and they have a shorter week, just 3 games next week. They have Tuesday against Orlando here. On the day after Thanksgiving, they're at Brooklyn, and then they have another Sunday game next weekend. So even if he misses, let's say he plays against Orlando, but he doesn't play against Brooklyn, right? Because you're not a lot of heavy lifting in that game potentially.
No.
that's okay. Give him a couple of days off here. They're off Friday, Saturday. He's off now Sunday and Monday. So that would be 4 games off. And if he's still feeling that tightness ahead of Orlando, let him sit in that one too. Maybe you have Paul George.
You could
back.
buy him a week,
yeah,
and only miss 2 games basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
over a week, frankly.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So let's see how it goes. But good call here. Left calf tightness, just sit out, my man, because we've seen it far too many times where players have dealt with. And I'm knocking on wood. I'm not trying to speak it into existence. I'm just simply pointing out of what was happening, right, in the league. As you talk about, we hear a lot of calf stuff. What happens after that? So I don't want to say it. Yeah.
So Stuart in the chat, he says that there are too many people on minute restrictions, and that's affecting the depth. I agree with that, Stuart. It's funny. The Sixers are in a weird spot where they're sort of not babying, but they're being very cautious with a half of their roster.
Yeah.
Babying is the wrong word. Scratch that from your memory. They're being cautious with that half of their roster, in part because they dealt with serious injuries and bringing them back. But they're basically throwing caution to the wind with the other half of the roster, specifically, I'll say the 3 guards for the most part. Let's say the 3 guards, Kelly Oubre, who is now hurt, and Andre Drummond. That half of the roster, no, guys, you have to play the entire game. Like Quentin Grimes, get ready to play 40 minutes if this is a close game tonight, my man, because that's where it's been at. I agree with that, Stuart. They're in a weird spot where half the roster, they're on very limiting minute restrictions. They're not playing back-to-backs. A bunch of this stuff, guys are hurt. Jared McCain, he went down to the G League to sort of get his rhythm and timing back. But the other half, the guys who have been playing the all year, you need to play. They're 38, 40 minutes or whatever. So, it has not been an ideal situation. It's one of those where I don't know the right answer. I can see both sides of the argument. It's a difficult thing to balance, but I think at this point, VJ has been on the one half where you're basically like, yeah, just keep playing, kid. You're young. You'll be able to figure this out. But now that he has reported calf tightness, it's like we're sticking you right in the other half. You're not going to play for a few days. Yeah, I honestly wouldn't mind him missing the Orlando game as well.
Yeah,
just to be safe.
Just to be safe.
And then, hey, look, if he feels good, then get him back against Brooklyn. That's a nice team to start it up against. And if he wants to miss that game as well, we saw how they sat Joel Embiid in that game earlier in the year. And that's the one game all year where it was a blowout, laugher type of stuff. I'm not saying it will be exactly the same way this
Brooklyn
time.
has been a little
They
sneaky.
beat Boston the other night,
which a little sneaky,
a little surprising, but So I think this is the right move. It's tough though, right? Like he has been closing all of your games. Even when he's been struggling at the beginning of these games, he's been out there at the end, in part because one of the impressive things about VJ is when he's having a bad game, at least to start, he doesn't make it a bad 48 minutes, and he's out at the end of the game, and he's usually doing some helpful stuff, whether it's an offensive rebound, some defense, getting a transition bucket. We know that he makes big threes in crunch time. He seems to play some magnet ball at the end there where even when it rims out, it actually spins around and goes in. So that's a big loss, right? Because this is a guy who's played big minutes for you, but also important minutes for you.
Also, super chat here from Great Bogus says, I'm at the game right now. If I see the guys, can I say hi? Or will I be stopped by PHLY secret security? Like a little secret service, try to say hi to Derek and Kyle.
Well, you can say hi to them, but make sure you complain to Kyle about fan fishing me, though. That's the one thing. There's no security there.
Bogus, hopefully you get a chance to catch up with those guys, man. Appreciate it. Enjoy the game while you're there, and hopefully you get a W there tonight. Also, I see Larry K saying the hoodie. Which hoodie does Larry K?
Hoodie.
Oh, my hoodie. Okay. Yeah. All right. Larry, go get the hoodie. AllPHLY.com. You can go to the store.
Black Friday sale this week. I wonder if that'll be involved with it.
Is it already underway?
No, I don't think it's underway. But Larry, just wait a few days.
Hold on then.
Just wait a few days.
Little hat tip to you.
We'll be
Yeah, hang on. You get the hoodie. So yes, just hang on, and you can get this hoodie. If you can't see it, well, there you go. Look at that. Yeah, it really shows it off right there. You got the PHLY and like the collegiate varsity type letters.
Sure.
It's fantastic. Very comfortable. All right, let's get to the starting lineup also, Bree, because VJ Edgecombe's out. Who's in his place? Let's see. Oh, they're back in black, by the way. Tyrese Maxey.
Who knew?
Quentin Grimes.
They wake up on a Sunday and you realize they're back in black. Yes.
Quentin Grimes gets the start with Justin Edwards, Paul George, and Andre Drummond. I didn't really think of anywhere else to go outside of maybe Trendon Watford. You weren't going to start Jared McCain yet, so I was wondering if Trendon Watford might get the nod, but so Nick Nurse is kind of up against it, so you want more of a guard in the backcourt with him, so I could see where this makes sense.
So your three main backups, the issue is it's one guard, Jared McCain, who seems like he's on a still minute restriction. Or is it playing bad, that's why it's a minute restriction, even though he's played better the last two. He's up to, what, 15 minutes, I think, last game? I saw some tweets that his minute restriction has been bumped up. Yes, it's been a question of, is it a minutes restriction or is just like Nick Nurse like, nah, you're not up to speed.
You stink.
He looked a little bit better in the last game. In fairness, that Bucks team is they're just not very good defensively.
That's not his problem. He needs to get going.
He looked a little bit better. He had the one nice move on. I think it was against Ryan Rollins, who is one of their better defenders, where he got the lefty layup on him. And then he shot a bunch of threes against their zone, which is fine. But, I think
I actually thought the shots looked good.
They're fine.
Because they were from deep. And as far as him dealing with that knee also, while we're worried about off the dribble stuff, dealing with the knee to get the shot off from 27 feet, he needs to be able to shoot that with his form and his base and all. So I didn't mind those.
No, I didn't mind them either. I just think,
especially against
that zone defense, like those shots are going to be available.
Yeah.
Like all you got to do is pass it a couple times side to side, and you're going to get those looks. Look, I think
in the corner, Jared.
But I agree. Those shots look good. So yeah, you have one guard in Jared McCain. His minutes limit has apparently ramped up, which good because I think he's going to have to play a lot because you really only have three guards that you trust available unless they dip into the coaching staff or Eric Gordon maybe in this game. And then the other two guys that you have are fours, technically, right? You have Jabari Walker and you have
Trendon Watford.
Trendon Watford, yeah.
Yeah.
And Barlow.
Who's the five? I guess it's still those two guys is the five, right? Because Bona's still out, so you still have Walker and Barlow as your five.
You have your 3 4s basically on the bench.
So
and of course, some of them are going to play, like Barlow's probably going to play some minutes at the 5 as well. So yeah,
you have an 8-man rotation right now?
I guess you'd go 9. You can go 9 with the 3, if I'm counting this right.
Walker, with Barlow, and McCain. Right? Walker, Barlow, McCain.
Watford too.
And Watford, okay.
So 9.
No. Walker, Watford, and McCain. Because Barlow's not starting. You're right. Right.
So they got 9.
My mistake.
By the way, we're figuring this out at the same time as everybody. Yeah, they're mixed match of people. So yeah, they have their 3 4-men on the bench.
Yeah.
We'll see how they deploy them. I assume Trendon Watford is probably going to need to, handle the ball a little bit, and Barlow's going to have to play some 5.
All right, and there's your backcourt right there of Mitchell and Powell, who's been really, really good. And then you have Bam along with Khalil Ware. That's a big front court right there.
I think that's Pelle Larson.
And that's Pelle Larson.
Yeah.
So who I like, by the way. I like Pelle Larson.
The issue, I talk about this every single time. Tyrese Maxey is going to be hounded for 94 feet. Davion Mitchell is going to pick him up the entire way.
Yeah.
Davion Mitchell is good at that. He's not going to probably steal the ball from Tyrese Maxey all that much. I'm not saying that, but he's going to make him work.
He's going to make him work.
And when we talk about Tyrese Maxey's minutes being difficult, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Now, that's where the other guys come in.
Yeah.
Free him up, set some good screens, give him some opportunities. Davion Mitchell, really good player. He can be scored on, too, as good as he is.
Sure, once you get him in
the
half court, he's not huge, but he moves his feet really well.
And Tyrese, he tries to back down these smaller guards. That's a strong dude right there. I don't know if you're going to move him all that much.
You're probably gonna have to beat
Might have to shoot over top of him in that case. All right, let's get to the pregame picks here on the Bet365 pregame pick segment. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Let's run through these pretty quickly here. Let's go to Breeze first. She's on a 2-game winning streak, everybody. She's back. Plus 210. Bam Adebayo and Justin Edwards, 2+3s made.
Watched a little bit of Heat Bulls the other night. Bam's 3-point stroke looks pretty good. He was shooting it confidently on the break.
Yeah, 210. And Justin Edwards.
We know he's going to shoot 5 or 6 of them.
Exactly. And he's home. So maybe he'll make those at home versus what he did not make on the road against Milwaukee. That's a plus 210 for me. I went with Tyrese Maxey. Despite Davion Mitchell in his jersey, he's still going to score his 30 because that's what he does. So he's going to get his 30.
Hard to argue against that.
And Paul George, I was very encouraged. So I'm going over 16.5 this afternoon, plus 225. So with no VJ Edgecombe out there, yes, Quentin Grimes is. Scoring is going to really have to come from 3 people. 3 people. That's Quentin Grimes, Tyrese Maxey, and Paul George. And that's why I went with what I did. And we'll see how it happens. Make sure you go sign up. PHLY 365 is the code for you to jump right in there. Again, $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
The chat wants Broom minutes. We'll see if that's.
I don't know if this is the game for Broom.
Well, I just think
those two
because they
guys.
have the 3 forwards healthy behind Drum. Like
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of the position they're deepest at right now. Like
Right.
if Broom was in the backcourt right now, I think there might be an argument just because. They don't really have a ton of players. So we'll see what happens. I mean, this would be a good one to get. Heater, good team. Beat the you-know-what out of the Bulls the other night. Good team. They have a drive and kick offense where basically they just sort of try and take you one-on-one, and Spo is sort of organized that it's a change from how they have played in past years. But good team, have played well, good offense, good defense.
Won 3 in a row.
This would be a nice one to get.
This would be a nice win for the Sixers if they're able to get this one. All right, folks, after the game, we'll be back with you about 10 minutes after the game. Get ready for our post-game show. Again, we got a doubleheader here at PHLY. We got Sixers basketball, and then we have the Birds taking on the Cowboys as well. So a busy day here on PHLY Network. Hopefully you can check in with us post-game. We're going to also have simultaneously going on the pregame for the Birds and the Cowboys. Little retro day for the teams because the Birds look like they're going to be in their vintage Kelly Green. So you got the back in black for the Sixers, Kelly Green for the Birds.
Good uniforms all around.
Oh, just get some W's and make this a fantastic weekend as we started off. Everybody, for Rich, Bree, I'm Devon. Thanks for hanging out with us pregame. We'll catch up with you postgame right here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show.
We all silly like the mayor.